Oh, okay. Could you everybody, Coach Rab here, and welcome to another Kilted Chess Noob episode. No, I'm not a chess coach, not even close. I'm a health and wellness coach that happens to love chess, and today's episode is all about my chess goals for 2026. So, as an online coach, it's always important to have goals, things that you're working towards, so you can focus on progression and get that dopamine release when you actually improve. Last year's goal was very straightforward. It was to try and get my daily rating to 1500. Now, whilst I didn't quite hit that, I think I finished at 1390 something or whatever it was. That was purely down to a lack of qualifying games. There was a couple of tournaments I did that were unrated, for example, that I performed quite well in, that certainly would have raised my points. Anyway, the key thing is chasing ratings is not always an important thing so long as your play is improving. And towards the end of the year there, my game ratings and accuracy were far higher. It was very common for me to get game ratings of 1600 and above, which tells me, you know, I passed that 1500 mark. You know, I just needed to play more games to get it. Plus my puzzle rating went a bit higher, and kind of puzzles I was achieving were 1600. So I'm happy with what I did last year. So this one is all about goals for 2026. So goal number one is to actually get my daily rating to 1500. Now, I know you shouldn't chase ratings, because the top guys say if you chase ratings, you become too protective of it and things like that. So I'm not too fussed in that regard, but I do want to get up to 1500. And as I say, I'm just less than 1400 at the moment. That gives me a whole year of games to get over 1500, which I think is more than achievable. So I think that's like, right, that's a nice goal. Get the daily rating above 1500. Goal number two is also rating based, is to get my rapid rating over 1000. Now my rapid rating's 800 something at the moment. I do enjoy the rapid games because it's, you know, you pick up the board, so to speak, you know, you open up, you play, and then at the end when the game's done, it's over, you don't have to think about it again. So I quite like that. And sometimes I get game ratings 12 to 1500, that one, because there is a time constraint, and that exposes, you get less calculation time, so it exposes weaknesses. So another little sub goal is to get that up over 1000. My third goal for the year is to fully learn the London opening for white. Now, at the moment, I've been playing London. I've been getting some very good success with it. It's getting my game rating much higher. It's a slow, methodical approach. Some people call it boring. I quite like it. But I haven't learned the entire course and all the lines yet. I've only done 30% of it. So one of my goals is to work my way through and complete the entire course and familiarise myself with it to the point where I'm like, yep, I'm doing well, I know this, and I can handle most situations. So that is one of my goals. My next goal is to learn the Queen's Gambit for black. I've learned a couple of Gambity, or Queen's Gambit declined, I want to be specific. I've learned a couple of Gambity openings for black, things like the Traxler. I've been learning the Russo Gambit. I have learned the Caro-Can, whilst that's not Gambity, the Caro-Can for black, but that's really only useful against e4. I want to learn the Queen's Gambit declined because it's one of the more advanced openings, and I'm like, I've been putting it off. I'm thinking, do you know what? I should just go ahead and learn it. I'm flirting with the idea of that or the Sicilian. It's one of the two for black. I need a strong repertoire for black that I feel confident with. I'm like, right, this is how I'm going to play. So, but the bottom line is I need to master it. So I've got a whole year to do it for this goal. So master either the Queen's Gambit decline or the Sicilian, whichever one I choose to go with, and go from there. My fifth goal for the year is to actually get my puzzle rating over 2000. So the highest I've been this year is 1800 and something, right? And the thing is with the puzzles, much like your other ratings, when you get one right, you get X number of points. I think it's depending on the difficulty. If it's a tricky one, I can get 4 points. If I ramp up the difficulty, I can get even more. But equally, when you get them wrong, you sometimes lose 12. So it's that kind of 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, and so on. But the idea is that if I improve my overall gameplay, improve my tactics and vision and strategy, then I should be able to build that puzzle rating too, and that will be reflective in my overall play. So build that up to over 2000, and I think that would definitely reflect a good year of learning. And my goal number 6, whilst on the puzzle subject, I'm going to try and clear 10,000 puzzles. So last year, well, in fact, that's not fair, because last year I was starting to look at my puzzles. I'm up to about 5,700 completed puzzles. and it's very, very good for training, for all the tactics and brain training. So do you know what? This year I'm going to go from 5,700, whatever I'm on now, over 10,000. So I'm going to have to start putting those in regularly every day for, I usually do 20 minutes a day, but I might need to step that up to hit that target. I'll need to fluff it all out and then, find out exactly how many puzzles I need to do by set points. But yeah, I want to be able to complete basically 4,300 odd puzzles in this year, hopefully successfully, but so on. So again, that's all part of the repertoire, building up, improving. And last but not certainly least, I want to consistently achieve a 1600 game rating or above. Now, I'm wanting to get my game rating higher anyway, so if you're consistently playing at a higher level, then your overall gameplay has improved. Now, the top people, the top guys, grandmasters and above, they look more at accuracy, but I feel for my sort of level, game rating is a played like a. So if you're playing well, if you're playing like an 1800 or 1700 or 1900 or whatever, that suggests that your level of play is quite good. And obviously, if your bad days and it says you played like a 900, you're like, oh God, So, but anyway, if I can consistently score 1600 or above, I'm involved in a tournament at the moment, and my lowest score has been a 1450. Everything's been 1800, 1600s, and I even achieved a 2000, which I'm going to do a video on soon. So with that sort of level, that suggests to me that I have been improving. So I'm like, right, so consistently get 1600 ratings or above. That's going to be one of my goals. So there we have it, nice and simple video. I'm mapping this out because I use this channel as well to sort of document my journey, and I want this as like a statement at the start of the year, so that at the end of the year I can look back and I can do a comparison video and see how I go on. And with all things, doesn't matter what you're into, if you're trying to get better at something, you need a starting point, a measuring point to then see how much you've improved by, what it is to work on, what worked, what didn't. And that's what the goal of this video and my chess journey is. So thank you always. Please comment, like and subscribe. Take care.